They called it Tyrannosaurus Rex, the ultimate Terminator. 6 tons of bone-crunching bad dreams. The undisputed king of the dinosaurs. There has never been a serious challenger to its crown until now. Tyrannosaurus Rex, king of the tyrant lizards, and its challenger, Giganotosaurus. The clash of the titans, 2 heavyweight prize fighters side by side for the first time. At the Philadelphia Academy of Natural Sciences, Peter Dodson supervises the weigh-in.
In the red corner, the champion from North America, Tyrannosaurus Rex, 40 feet in length, 10 feet high at the hips, 6 tons in weight, the Tyrant Lizard King. In the blue corner, the challenger from South America, making its first appearance in 100 million years, 41 feet in length, 10 feet in height, 7 tons in weight, Giganotosaurus, the giant reptile from the south.
2 killer dinosaurs. They lived millions of years apart, on 2 different continents, but they were the 2 greatest predators of all time. New discoveries are bringing them back to life. But which was the king of the killer dinosaurs? T-Rex specimens have been found only in North America, and only in the Hell Creek Formation dating back 65 million years. The Hell Creek runs from Alberta in Canada in the north to Denver, Colorado in the south. Evidence that T-Rex ever existed was discovered in 1900 by a legendary American fossil hunter. Named after a showman, Barnum Brown, a showman himself, had a nose for fossils. Sniffing about on a hunch in a section of the Hell Creek that runs through Montana, he uncovered the first 3 T-Rex ever found. Barnum Brown didn't like to get his fancy clothes dirty, so he hired a gang of workmen to dig for him.
And it's bigger than anything I've ever seen. It came out right here. What we need to do is dig there, explore, see if there's anything there, because it's on this level.
Pickaxing for profit and not posterity, he and his men were often careless, their specimens incomplete. Still, the creature Brown sent back east was horrifying. A monster from hell, it inspired Henry Fairfield Osborn, curator of the American Museum, to name it Tyrannosaurus Rex, king of the tyrant lizards. At first, scientists thought it was a lumbering, sluggish brute, a scavenger. It was so massive, they thought it could barely move and lay about on the ground for most of the time. And when standing, it needed its tail as a third leg for balance and support. Barnum Brown's prize find, made in 1907, was only 45% complete. For decades after, specimens of T-Rex remained fragmentary and rare. Then, in 1990, an almost perfect specimen was found, 90% complete. It would dramatically change scientists' understanding of the Tyrant King. Neil Larson and his team from the Black Hills Institute have excavated more T-Rexes than anyone else.
The area around here is extremely rich in fossils. Since 1992, we have excavated 3 Tyrannosaurus rexes. One by the name of Duffy, about a quarter of a mile over this way. One by the name of Stephen, about a quarter of a mile over this way. And we brought Stan back to the place where he lay buried for nearly 65 million years. Tyrannosaurus rex has the most incredible bite and biting power of any dinosaur that has yet been found. He's got some 6 and 8 inch long teeth that poke out of the jaws. Now these teeth are shaped quite similar to a knife, but rather than being flat like a knife, they're shaped round like the end of this pick. This gives Tyrannosaurus rex the ability to not only just cut through meat, but also to be able to punch through bone.
In the crunching department, tests show that T-Rex had biting power nearly twice that of an alligator and about 3 times more than a lion. Another major discovery, less than 15 miles away, proves that far from sluggish, T-Rex was a fast and agile sprinter. It left these footprints as it raced along. Discovered by Mike Trebold, they are the first of their kind.
I was coming through this area for about the 3rd time this year when I saw this concretion before me. It looks just like a large T-Rex footprint. And I laughed to myself because this has never been found in the Hell Creek before. When I saw the one behind it, I thought I just might have discovered the very first T-Rex trackway.
The tracks are almost perfectly lined up, left foot in front of right. It shows that T-Rex had a well-developed sense of balance. A striding animal, like a bird, it placed one foot in front of the other, unlike the slow, sprawling waddle of most reptiles. Another exciting piece of evidence is the extension behind the heel of each print.
That extension is an impression of the back part of the leg, so it very possibly was crouching or stalking its prey. Probably hunched over slightly, very alert. It changed direction in this area, and continued on and speeded up its gait once again.
The trackway here is remarkable. Rather than impressions of the monster's feet, they look like actual feet because of the way they were formed. When T-Rex walked here, the ground was composed of soft clay covered with vegetation. As the monster stepped in the clay, it left footprints which were filled in by rotting vegetation, which over time were fossilized. When Trebold dug away the softer surrounding rock, the footprint is exposed. T-Rex's legs are 10 feet long. The proportions of its individual leg bones indicate how fast it could run. Like an ostrich, T-Rex had a long shin bone compared to the thigh, and long extensions to the flat of the feet. Calculations show that T-Rex could cruise at speeds of about 30 miles an hour. Its long tail was vital for balance. It provided stability in the same way a pole helps a high wire walker. Armed with its tail, T-Rex could maneuver through the forest at high speed.
I would think that an animal like this active and this large, could easily have done the 100-meter dash in 5 seconds. It was a very active, very fast animal, very alert.
But it wasn't just fast. It had eyes that could see in 3D.
Tyrannosaurus rex had enormous eyes. He had eyes about the size of this softball. And the eyes faced in the skull forward. This gave him binocular vision, like a predator. This allowed him to judge depth, to see distance, to even see color.
Like an eagle, T-Rex's eyes were designed to spot prey. Scientists now believe T-Rex was more eagle-eyed than an eagle. And to process information, T-Rex also had the largest brain of any dinosaur yet found.
We as humans have a brain nearly the size of a football, but Tyrannosaurus rex did not have all these wonderful features that we as humans have. If you take away all the storage that we have in our brain, things for memories and things that happen to us and things for calculating and wondering at the beauty of the world, Tyrannosaurus Rex didn't have that.
The brain was the control center of this vicious killer's body, although its thoughts were very basic.
Tyrannosaurus Rex basically thought about the same thing that a teenage boy thinks about on a Friday night. It thought about girls or the opposite sex. It thought about eating. It thought about sleeping. Thought about more eating again. And for Tyrannosaurus Rex, if it got angry, it would get angry immediately.
Larson's skulls show evidence of savage face biting, especially with each other, the result of battles for food or a mate. T-Rex remained undisputed heavyweight champion of the world for nearly a century. But then, another brute with big teeth, a big appetite, and a bad attitude was found in Africa to challenge for its crown. There are few more inhospitable places to go dinosaur hunting than in the deserts of North Africa, where temperatures soar to 125 degrees Fahrenheit and more. But intrepid German paleontologists working in Egypt unearthed fragments of a giant meat-eater with massive shark-like teeth. They named it Carcharodontosaurus saharicus, shark-toothed reptile of the Sahara. But its remains were destroyed in the Second World War. After the war, French explorer René Lavocar spent months wandering alone in the inhospitable wastes of the Moroccan Sahara. He too found shark-like teeth. In 1995, Chicago paleontologist Paul Serino led another expedition into the heart of the Moroccan Sahara. He had little to go on other than Lavocar's now cold trail, and that the fragments had been found in rocks about 100 million years old. After 2 torturous months of searing heat, searching rock surfaces that tore their boots to shreds, their efforts seemed fruitless. Then, with only 2 days of the expedition left, Serino hit pay dirt.
It was totally unpredictable. I saw an area of outcrop. I walked towards it. And I walked over and I saw in front of me a pile of bones, fragments. I picked this thing up, looked at the upside down side, and my eyes popped out of my head. Here we had the back end of a theropod skull, beautifully preserved.
He went back to see if the bones might have fallen from higher on the sheer cliff.
I circled around again, and that's when I looked up, and I saw on the pillar of rock the rest of the brain case and the skull going into the side of this cliff. And it was a sheer cliff, and it was sort of like a little statue sitting up there. And again, this was too much. I mean, sure that it holds the lip. Look at this. Have you guys seen the teeth? This is incredible. 1, 2, 3. There's a replacing tooth here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We got the whole jaws.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Serino had found a skull 5.5 feet long.
1, 2, 3.
With 6-inch shark-like teeth. Back home in Chicago, Serino slowly pieced together a skull even larger than the champ's T-Rex. Serino introduced a stockier, slower, heavier animal. A bruiser with a wrestler-like neck and a narrow skull. A brain half the volume of T-Rex's, and quite different teeth. While T-Rex chomped with round, puncturing teeth, its African rival used its sharp, slicing teeth to bite, rip, and tear. Africa's shark-tooth killer was about to be outclassed by an even stronger shark-tooth challenger from South America. T-Rex was about to meet its match in Argentina. The ultimate challenger to T-Rex was trained in the vastness of Patagonia and was named Giganotosaurus, the giant reptile of the south. It comes from the same stable of fighters as its sparring partner, the shark-toothed killer from Africa. 150 million years ago, South America and Africa were still joined, and the ancestors of the two heavyweights were free to roam across the continents. Scientists had believed that South America split off from Africa about 130 million years ago. But these two shark-toothed challengers, both 95 million years old, were so closely related that scientists now believe that Africa and South America could only have split apart at about that time. At the Carmen Funes Museum in Patagonia, Rodolfo Coria is no stranger to the world of giants. He led the team that excavated Giganotosaurus. Today, they are setting out early, and with some excitement. They have found another giant. Argentina is fast becoming the Texas of the PaleoWorld. Everything seems bigger there. When Coria and his team first unearthed Giganotosaurus, the fossil bones were huge. When they reached the end of its shin bone, they realized that it was not only the biggest meat eater known in South America, it was the biggest carnivore in the world.
It was really exciting because, you know, it doesn't happen every time to find the records in dinosaurs.
But the specimen Coria is excavating today is even bigger, establishing that their first find was not a freak. Like its African cousin, Giganotosaurus's teeth are distinctly different from the bone-crunching, rounder teeth of T-Rex.
The teeth are very sharp in the edges, but at the same time are very narrow. They look like shark teeth.
Giganotosaurus's eyesight was not as sharp as T-Rex. Its eyes were in the side of its head. As a hunter, it would be poor at judging distance, having to bob and weave its head up and down and side to side to pick out its prey against a background. Giganotosaurus hunted very large prey, plant-eating giants many times its own size. In the red corner, representing North America, champion killer of the prehistoric world, the tyrant lizard king. In the blue corner, the challenger from South America, Giganotosaurus, the giant reptile of the south. A pre-fight assessment from the experts.
The smart money's definitely on the reigning champion. He's got a brain size twice the size of his opponents. He's able to think faster on his feet, check out his opponent's moves.
Paleontologist Ted Deichler has been following Giganotosaurus, the giant.
The truth is, the giant's a bit of an unknown quantity. Only one skeleton has ever been found, and no one's had a good look at him in a fight. But judging by the looks of him, I'd say he's a bruiser, a slugger.
T-Rex and Giganotosaurus evolved on different continents at different times and hunted different prey. Giganotosaurus took on animals several times his size, while T-Rex preyed on animals smaller than he was.
T-Rex likes to go in for a quick kill, rather like a lion does today. A slashing of jaws, a ripping of flesh, a crunching of bone.
The word is that the giant attacks his prey quickly and violently, and backs off to survey the damage. He may follow his prey like the Komodo dragon today, waiting for the animal to weaken and attacking again.
And like the Komodo dragon, the giant's mouth was a toxic breeding ground for virulent bacteria.
Judging by the bad breath, infection could be a problem after the bite.
Giganotosaurus would then return and finish off its weakened prey.
T-Rex's arms may look puny, but they're not. They're heavily muscled. I've seen him lift 450 pounds, one arm, in training. That's an Olympic record. He may be a ton or two lighter, but he's a super heavyweight. He's fast, he's agile, he's much more mobile than his competitor. He's got all the moves.
The giant's a bit longer than the Tyrant King, so he's got a better reach. He's also a bit heavier, so he may not be as fast or as maneuverable. But if he can sink those teeth into the champ, he'll rip him apart.
The challenger is bobbing and weaving. Is this to taunt the champ?
To get perspective, he has to bob up and down or move his head side to side.
T-Rex has a great advantage. His eyes face forward. He has three-dimensional vision. He can judge depth. He can make his moves perfectly.
That is, as long as T-Rex has got two eyes. If the giant can cut one of them early on, that advantage will count for nothing.
He's obviously not as bright as the champ. He's got a smaller brain. But that might be to his advantage. He'll be less sensitive to the pain. And his size will help him soak up the punishment anyway.
Look at those teeth. This is one of the most devastating sights in the history of life on Earth. These teeth are long, they're heavy, they're designed to pass right through flesh or bone. They give Rex the ability to bite any part of an opponent's body.
The giant has more specialized teeth. Lethal, sharp cutters. Steak knives. He'd avoid the bone and go directly for the flesh. And if the champ lets his guard down, one bite could do a lot of damage.
The clash of the titans. Two killer dinosaurs. They lived millions of years apart on two different continents. The two greatest predators of all time. Who won the rumble in the jungle? With its superior brain, eyesight, and agility, T-Rex would have made mincemeat out of his South American challenger. Today, T-Rex remains the undefeated heavyweight champ, king of the tyrant lizards.